topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Are you ready to take a journey? Let's connect with the healers of the world. It's that time. It's time for the Language of Healing on W4WN Radio and Talk 4 TV. Now here's your host, Dr. Nicole Horton.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Language of Healing on W4WN.com network. Here with the Pipe Man, amazing co-host.
And I need some healing today.
Yeah. Okay, this is a great conversation then because we're talking about realizing your dreams. This whole month of May has been around mental clarity, inspiration, mental health awareness. May has been a really long month. It feels like it's gone on forever. Do you feel that?
Over. It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
It's
got
been
another week.
Yeah, I know, right? So it's been like like a washing cycle. I really have felt that energy of the spring cleaning and wash, rinse, dry, repeat, to get all the
It's
odds
funny
and
you
ends.
should say that because that's exactly what I'm doing right now during this show. And as a matter of fact, you never know during this show today whether somebody's going to break into my apartment because of that. Well, condo. Because so I walked into one of my rooms yesterday and I was wearing socks and my socks got soaking wet. And I'm like, what the hey? And so apparently there's a leak in the building, vertical living. And so the whole carpet and the padding is all soaking wet, smells like mildew. And so there's like a big fan in there right now. And so there's a lot of rinsing and repeating with and you know what I say?
There you go.
Here's what I say. When stuff like that happens, just go new, man. Like that's a sign that it's time to make a change and go new. Rip out that stupid wet carpeting that's probably outdated anyway and put something new in. That's the message for people. Like, you want to achieve your dreams. Sometimes you don't focus on the things that happen to you. You focus on the positive change you can make from those things happening to you. Right.
Yeah. And like last week, we were talking about the mishaps and miracles. It's like sometimes the miracle isn't the rainbow, it's the flood,
Exactly.
So,
look at Noah.
Yeah.
The miracle was the flood. There it is.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I noticed you're wearing a special jersey today.
Yes.
You got a new hair and you have a new hairdo. Is that right?
Yeah. So we'll talk about the jersey here. This is my protesting of Florida and the Rangers playing in the Stanley Cup. Okay. And I'm in Florida and I'm born in New York, but too bad for both those teams. I don't even know which team to root against at this point. I just want them both to lose, but that's not going to happen.
There you go.
So this is my protest. I'm going to just wear my New Jersey Devils stuff through the whole Stanley Cup playoffs. I might even, who knows, maybe I'll do press coverage at one of the games here in Florida wearing my New Jersey Devils and then interview maybe one of the players and say, how come you guys aren't as good as the Devils?
Okay. That would be great. Great interview.
And then, yes, the hair is ready for punk rock bowling.
Okay. Yes. Look at that. So our radio, describe that for our radio peeps. We've got a little fade of black to blue.
You would say fade to black like Metallica, but I don't know if it's fade to black. It's black, blue, black. Black, blue, black. So I got to say something. Hopefully he's not going to listen to this, but so person that's been doing my hair recently here in the States, I went to him and I showed him a picture of what my hair was like pre-COVID which the blue being a little darker like it is now than it was just a few days ago. And I wanted black, blue, black, like it blended down there. He's like, you can't do that. I'm like, oh, and that's why I went, he did the whole thing blue. But guess what? I just had my friend come over here yesterday. It needed touching up anyway for punk rock bowling. But I had my friend come over. I'm like, he says, we can't do this. I say we can. And so I manifested my hairstyle to be what I wanted to be, even though the professional said it couldn't be that way.
Mhm.
And that's a lesson to everybody right there. Okay.
Absolutely.
Don't listen to everybody else. There's always a way. It's a matter of whether you want to figure out the way or if you're willing to take the time for that way. I've been told in my life I'm like the master of manifestation. And because it's true, you manifest what you want out of life, whether it's good or bad. You think you do or don't. But like even when you're experiencing all these negative things going on in your life and you say, and somebody close to me just did this, like, I can't ever get a break. How about changing that vocabulary to, man, I'm going to create my own break. You don't get anything. You create, you manifest. You want your dreams and goals, you have to go after them. You want your dreams and goals, you have to have an action plan. You know, it's not just about saying, listen, Jim Rohn used to say, and that's Tony Robbins' mentor, he used to say, the power of positive thinking doesn't mean standing in your garden and saying, there are no weeds, there are no weeds, there are no weeds. He said, the weeds will eat your garden. Okay. You have to get down on your hands and knees and pull those weeds, you know, and that's the key. You have to have an action plan. Things don't just happen. You make them happen, and you have the ability to make them happen no matter what anybody else thinks or even what you think. If you think that you can, you will.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I love that you just said all of that because it's so right on par with the, the theme or the energies of right now because we're in the springtime. So, well, kind of the
Some of
spring,
us
right?
are.
Like
Some of us
some of
are.
us. I know it's
We're in
such a
summer,
relative
you're in
thing.
winter, the rest of the world's in spring.
Yeah. Okay, some things you can't control, right? I guess that's the beauty of diversity. Um, but in this phase, it's still. Oh, and I was kind of reflecting on, where we when we're talking about dreams and where we want to go, we need the vision. We need to see what we want, or even have the space or the freedom, like to recreate. So sometimes that, the flood, the destruction creates space for something new. It's like a forest fire that burns the forest floor, and only certain things that, can grow after a fire will grow. And
Well, the
anyway,
forest fire is a great example too, because what do they always do to make sure that the forest and the mountains are always plush and green is they do a
yeah,
calculated burn.
right. Well, we stopped doing controlled burns a while ago, and now I've noticed that, I mean, I don't know, comparison, it's just maybe it's all the rage, but there's seems to be more forest fires happening here.
Well, yeah, of
Anyway,
course.
it's like a big, it's like a big smudge. I don't know. Sometimes I think about we just need a big cleanse and like let it burn and let's recreate. And this year is the year of the wood dragon in the Chinese zodiac astrology. And so the wood element is the spring energy. It's like the expansion and regeneration and growth, and it controls the vision, like your sight. What do you see? And so when you're talking about, putting, you can't just say it. You have to put meaningful action towards it to make it a reality. Like turn that inspiration into material things. You have to take time to tend to your garden. Um, if you want it to be a habitable environment. So, yeah, this is good time to raise your spirits and get really clear. Okay, last week we were talking about, it's like getting what you want. You have to know what you want, right? Remember?
Yeah.
And
What do you want? What do you want?
I want a lot of things. Got lots.
Name 3 right now.
Okay, well, right now I want some water kind of wish I grabbed that a
Okay,
little
there's
bit
one. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here, have mine. Mine actually is not showing up in the background. There it
Oh, there.
is. There it is. It'll be like a doo 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 doo. It's like a ship passing in the night
Oh, yeah.
because you can't have
Okay.
any.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
okay.
number
I
2.
want
Okay,
that.
water is a good thing because you can't live without water. Next, 2.
Right? Yeah. Well, I mean, I would naturally say sunshine after that because you think about water and sunshine. I haven't seen the sun in some days too.
Well,
Um,
see that? Yeah, that's true. Sunshine's very important for attitude, mindset, manifesting, all that stuff. Number 3.
yeah. So number
Go back to
3,
number 2. Go back to number 2. What were you gonna say?
mm,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Let me feel into that a little bit. Um, well, this morning I wanted to really, I don't know, like creating space for myself. I took a little bit more time to center and ground. So I want some grounding. That's how I feel. Um, yeah.
Maybe that's
And
why when I tried to text you, I didn't hit send because the spirit stopped me from hitting send and interrupting that.
right. Yeah, there you go. It's like it's all perfect, everything is working, orchestrating as better than you could even imagine. So it, like things like anxiety, um, it's 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 an irrational component, of life because it's rooted in something that's not yet happened, right? And
Oh, it's a big thing of mine. Don't get me
yeah,
started.
on anxieties. Well,
Well,
yeah,
no,
it's a
worry
worry.
in
I mean,
general.
it's a natural thing, right? So
But so many
yeah,
people spend so much time, effort, and energy worrying about something that may or may not ever happen. And that's why it's a big thing of mine because I'm the type of person, we could be having a nuclear holocaust right now. And I'd be like, okay, what I got to do? And then I wouldn't anticipate the worst. I wouldn't anticipate, like, if the worst happens, it happens. You can't control that. But when you anticipate it, then you change how you do things, you change how things happen, and you create the worst case scenario. Most people, they spend so much time worrying about things and then they don't happen, and they just spend all that negative energy and inhibited themselves because it can paralyze you working, it can paralyze you parenting, it can paralyze you in so many ways. And a perfect example of this is there's a story like my daughter was playing when she first became an adult. I had her come play on my softball team because I coached her in softball, but now you're an adult. Now you can come on the adult softball team. And we played this game, and we took 2 cars. And then when you play softball, you go to a place afterwards to eat. And
like
while we
Dairy
were at
Queen
the
for ice cream. We'd always
no,
go
no,
for
it's
ice
the
cream.
whole team. Yeah,
Yeah.
not like kids. Actually, adult
Okay,
food.
adults.
Okay,
Adults don't do that. It's still
and
fun.
everybody, no, they do beer and pizza or something like that, and then so we go to this place and it pops in her head, which happens to most people, like you worry about things and and she thought about it like, oh my god, what if the park is closed by the time we get back? I won't be able to get my car. Now that's a valid concern. However, that got taken to a whole nother level, which is what people normally do, is they basically exaggerate it in their head and it amplify it to the worst case scenario. And so as I tried to give some positive influence, it actually escalated it more. And she was so panic stricken and everything else. I'm like, listen, first of all, if it is locked, we'll figure it out. And if it's not, and what if it's not locked? Then you spend all this time worrying and all this energy on it. And then we're going to just get there and you're going to get in your car and drive away and it won't be a big deal. And I'm that type of person. Like when there's a time to find the solution, I look for the solution. I don't look for a solution before there's a problem, and a lot of people do that. They don't even look for the solution. They just look to worry about the problem. Okay.
Mm,
So basically
That's
what happens is we had to leave because she was so panicked. We get back there, gates open, she gets in the car and drives away. And I said to her, see, you spent the last hour in a tizzy, in affecting your mind, affecting your emotions, affecting your physical body for something that never happened.
right. Yeah, it is a lot. It's a lot of energy spent on that. And I think the way to handle something like that is with grounding and getting remembering the facts, like you kind of stated. It's like it's reality, grounded in reality, to create this clarity of thought, because anxiety is unrooted. It's just mayhem. I think there is value to worry and anxiety because
In
it's,
some respects, yeah.
yeah, but an unhealthy balance. But um
But a
yeah,
lot of hot
anyways,
times, what it does is it inhibits you from solving the problem. So
yeah,
what
yeah,
happens is, let's say,
because you don't stay rooted in the reality. You're in like this fantasy fear. You're letting fear and
and
worry
you become
run
paralyzed.
run
So,
it.
like
Yeah.
the things that could solve the problem, you don't do because you're incapacitated.
Hmm.
And see, my viewpoint is, we talked about this last week, but in that situation, that story I just told as an example, you know what? The Whether the gate's locked or not, that's not going to change in this moment. You can't change that. So we're going to have to deal with the reality of that. And, getting there sooner or panicking about it more is not going to make it less or more likely to happen. Okay. So
Hmm.
it's more of, my attitude would be, if it were me, yeah, I would not be happy about it, but I'd be like, oh, well, there's nothing I could do now. I'll have to figure something out when I get there, if that's the case. And that's what
Right.
I would do. And then, when you have that clarity without being clouded by the stress and the worry, you find the answers. That's the point.
Mm.
You want to
Yeah, I love that you
manifest.
said cloudiness, because it's like you might not see the, what you're asking for, what you want. You might not see it because you're lost in this cloud, of confusion and anxiety and anger and resentment, and you're missing it. You're missing the moment, in the present moment.
That's
And
right.
then on a physical level, not being in the present moment disconnects you from your core, from your root, from your digestive system, from your center of power, how you take in life and use it, convert it into usable energy. So yeah, you're just, every moment we have a choice how we're gonna respond to this. It's okay to be, in those patterns, but yeah, this is a time like illumination, self-awareness, so you can grow and expand to be living and making change for the better.
Living la vida loca.
Living la vida. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, isn't that nice? You got to be a little loca.
Well, you're loco. You're loca. I would be
Uh,
loco.
okay. Yes. Right.
And
Well, I think you have to be a
rebel
little
is mas loca.
muscle.
See,
Very, very loca. Well, I think you have to be mas loca for genius a little bit. You have to think outside the box. You have to expand. You have to try things that are different. Okay, another thing that's good for, just on the topic of anxiety, because it's this mental clarity that helps overcome it, and emotional maturity. You have to bring some aspects of grounding and reality check into it, right? But like move your body in a different way, dance, like do some tai chi, meditate, find your inner
now in that
core.
situation, show the listeners how you would dance.
Oh, well, it depends what kind of beat's going on, you know? I just love moving my body to like, a good feel in that groove. So it would be how I dance according to how it like makes my body feel. How about you? What is the pipe man dance like?
Uh,
Headbang.
Join me in the mosh pit, and you'll see.
Okay, cool.
Maybe clip you.
Yeah,
No, it's not really like that in the mosh pit.
I
It's
know.
more,
I mean, it's
but the people listening don't know or watching don't know.
right.
They people that don't know, they look, and that's a perfect example too. Okay, they look at this mosh pit and they have this whole worry. The mosh pit is a great place mentally to release all your frustrations, stresses, everything out of you in an environment that is conducive to other people helping you out, an environment that's conducive to feeling better and avoiding doing things in your life that maybe wouldn't be so good, you know? So
Mhm, mhm.
that
You mean like kind of
like
hitting someone
punching
else?
somebody out,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah,
something like that. Like if you
yeah.
go
Like
in
you
the mosh pit, get it
saving
all out in the
faces,
pit.
saving
You know,
faces.
yeah,
One one pit
exactly.
at a time.
Saving faces one pit at a time. However, in Rebel's case, that's not the case because she had extra worry.
Mm.
Okay. So that extra worry caused anxiety, which caused her to not get her things out and enjoy the experience.
I got punched in the stomach standing in a corner behind a speaker. I had no
Oh
place
no.
But
there.
maybe that's what you manifested by being so like, you were like a deer in the headlights. I remember it. Like you were like a deer in the headlights. And yeah, that goes along with my point. That's when something's going to happen because you're
Mm.
so worried about something that's going to happen. You manifested it, and that's
And
why I
interesting.
punched you in the stomach.
You didn't do it.
That's aggressive, you know? That's a little like, I agree. That wouldn't be a nice intro, but
She
that's
didn't
how
really get
that is.
punched on purpose, though. It's like
Okay,
that
okay.
wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, but it
It
was like a magnet. And funny enough, the emotion of worry comes from the stomach, the spleen stomach, and that's your center
see
point. So it's
proves
like
my point. If you
it was
weren't
like a
worrying, you
yeah.
might have gotten punched in the head instead of the stomach.
Oh.
Really, Pipe Man? Really?
Oh yeah, I remember my first experiences in there and I was like, ew, why would
I wasn't
anyone do
even
this?
in it though. That's the whole point. I was staying alongside
Okay.
the wall. I was trying to stay away from all these people. I was squished between a wall and a speaker on a stand.
She
Yeah.
was like
And
a
there they
scared
come.
bunny rabbit in
Well,
the middle of the road while a car drives right through.
yeah. Sometimes you just gotta leap in there, you know? Maybe they were calling you into the community.
Well, there's a metaphor there. You do have to leap in there with things in life. Forget the mosh pit for a
Yeah.
second, but in order to achieve your dreams and goals and everything else, you have to leap in there. You have to be an active participant. Okay. It doesn't just come to you. You can't wake up in the morning and go, please, God, let me have $1 million, or whatever it is. You can't sit there and as I said before, there's actions that need to be taken, you know. And so, like, if you're in the mosh pit, and you see a fist coming, move over.
Yeah. There's some skill, there's some muscle development there, and like curating your dreams takes time. It's not an instant thing. You have to learn how to fall. You got to take the punches. You got to learn to get back up. You got to learn how to shift that negative mindset into something more positive and
So amazing you said that too.
practical.
So amazing you said that too, because so my ice skating coach used to say to me a lot, like, you never fall. And he didn't say that as a compliment. He
Mhm.
said it as the opposite of a compliment. Why? Because you're never going to become a better skater if you never fall.
Mhm.
It means
Yeah,
you're
it's like playing.
not going for it.
Yeah, it's like playing with people that are better with you. Like in sports, I love playing sports. There's so many like life lessons in that realm. But it's like you have to play teams that are better than you. You have to, it's like you have to take defeat. You have to be,
Well, it's
take the
like when I
rejection,
play Madden football.
resilience.
I pick the worst team against the best team because to me that's more fun to play
Yeah,
that way than to play a team that I can just slaughter. Okay, and
yeah,
that's really what it comes down to. And
yeah.
so
It's like your
Rebel
mentors
has to
too.
go tend
You
to
know?
her stomach now. She went
Yeah.
off.
I do
Sorry,
not.
Rebel.
It's been years. I'm never gonna go back into an area with a mosh pit again.
Or
Well,
you could try like a circle pit, or you just kind of run around in circles and like that's a little bit more fun.
I'd
That
rather
would
be in a
freak
pool
her out too.
creating whirlpools. I don't want to go in a pool. I don't want to go in a ring full of people that are slamming into each
Sweaty.
other.
You know
Well,
what the worst is, like the sweat, like bumping up against. Anyway, but that's life too. Sometimes
if you
gotta-
went to Punk Rock Bowling, Rebel, that was just this last weekend. If you went to Punk Rock Bowling, then you would be able to do that because they have a pool party with a mosh pit in the pool. So there you go.
Nice.
Just your speed. At least if you get punched in the stomach, you're underwater.
Yeah.
Less resistance.
Yeah, exactly. It won't hurt as bad because there's a lot of resistance.
Maybe there's like enough time to shift out of the way, like whoa,
Yeah, well, see, it's the
slow-mo.
environment, isn't it? Different things can create different results for you depending on the environment you're in, which brings us like
Yeah.
achieving your goals and dreams. You're not going to do it with people that are below you pulling you down. You need
Yeah.
to be with people above you pulling you up, and I think that happens a lot of times. That's another thing that's kind of a peeve of mine. There's a lot of people out there that they look at people above their level with jealousy instead of admiration and mentorship. And so if you want what they have, in my opinion, you have to be willing to do what they do. So you learn from them. And the only
Yeah,
thing
'cause-
you learn from people below you is how to go down the ladder instead of up the ladder.
Yeah, I have a couple of thoughts on that, with the mentors.
Let's hear 'em.
Like, yeah, I mean, you're so inspirational. I really enjoy conversations with you. So
Well,
wise.
thank you.
Uh,
I can't say
Uh,
Rebel can say the same thing. Go ahead.
right. Yeah, well, you poke fun at Rebel. Like, come on, she's gotta.
Well, she's a
Aren't you?
Southerner. What can I'm a
Yeah, I know.
Yankee.
Yeah, and I'm the Canadian. Oh boy, just
Beauty, eh?
beauty, eh?
So tell us
Okay,
your
okay,
thoughts.
stop distracting me. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Now I lost that.
Okay. You want me to
You
repeat
were,
what I was saying?
yeah,
The
you were
people
saying.
above you pull you
Yes.
up. The people
Yes,
below
because
you.
okay, with the whole jealousy thing, or competition. There's a healthy level of competition. You have to it helps you grow and evolve too. But
No doubt.
checking out the qualities that you admire. It's like writing down. You can do this practice of, like just choose 3 mentors or 3 people that you like, look up to, and then writing down the qualities that you admire about them. And then you might find that through all these mentors, you have similar qualities that you admire. So, you circle those, and actually that's a quality about yourself too. So, what a great opportunity to learn how to develop that, because it is a muscle, it's a skill. You have to, and when we talk about our dreams, you have to be inspired and connected. Otherwise, it won't go anywhere. It has to really motivate you. And so that's where the natural action steps. If you say you want something and it never happens, like, well, A, how bad do you want it? Like, B, or what do you want it
can't
for?
just say it. You
No,
should
you have
say it,
to-
and you should make a public commitment about it.
Yeah.
But I have this thing that I developed years ago in goal setting, which is also, going after your dreams, and it's called the goal getter. And basically is you take a piece of paper, you write 10 things on it that you want out of life the most. Now, they could be short term, long term, small, big, whatever. It could be like, I want to be a better brother. I want to be a millionaire. I want to have a Ferrari Testarossa. I want to get a new pair of skates. It doesn't have to be like these monumental things. And what happens is, because if you read the book Think and Grow Rich, which I'm a huge fan of, that's why people don't set their goals, because there's a lot of work that you have to do out of that book. And so people are like, oh, I don't want to do the work. So I came up with this because it's very easy. You just write down 10 things. And then every time you accomplish one of those things, you cross it off and put something else on, because it should always have 10 things. Because what you do once you achieve the 10 things, does that mean it's done? No. And and they could be whatever you want them to be. And then you carry them with you everywhere. You put it on your mirror in the bathroom. You put it on in your car where you can see it. You put it on your desk if you have a desk. You put it in your pocket. And so that you're always hyper focused on achieving those 10 things. And so I think the homework for the listeners and the watchers is that maybe they should do that. Maybe after the show, they should sit down and think of 10 things they want most. They could be small, big, long term, short term, medium term. It could be in 10 years, I don't want to have gray hair, or something like that. It doesn't, I forgot to mute my phone. What an idiot.
Oh, who is it? It's always interesting when something rings.
It's the Hilton. It's the Hilton.
Oh,
They're
okay.
trying to sell me a vacation package. Should we take it?
Yeah. Where are we
All right.
going? Dream vacation. Yeah, dream vacations here.
Hello. Hello. We have to wait because it's a robocall, so we have to wait for them.
Spam likely.
No, it is Hilton. They just haven't picked up yet. It's see, they hung up.
Oh, they hung up.
Knew
Yeah.
that they knew they were live on the air, and they didn't want to have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, they made the call, but they're not showing up. So
exactly.
That dream
Maybe
is
I would have
not
bought.
going anywhere.
Maybe I would have bought, but they didn't come on, and that's it. They're done now.
That's too bad. Yeah. Speaking of dream vacations though, I would love to be in a place where there's sunshine and space.
Well, you're not going to get that where you are.
Yeah. Oh boy. No, but that's though it's feeling into that. Okay, this is a cool practice too. Because when you're manifesting, obviously, you're a powerful manifester, as am I. I've created a lot of things in my life and they happen so miraculously. It's fun. But think about, so knowing what you want, you have to be really clear on, who you are too, right?
Yeah.
And what is important to you? What are your core values, right? What do you?
Yeah, because if it conflicts with your core values, you're never going to get there.
Right. No, and that's it. And we can lie to ourselves or mask the feelings, and end up in situations that we're not fully aligned with. And I think this is why I want to, keep bringing up this theme for this month, is because it's a really powerful time to get really clear on that. If you've been in situations like relationships, career shifts, habits for yourself, you're just like sick of it and you want the change, but you're not really sure how to really make that happen. Like, now is a good time. So getting really clear on your core values, exploring your sense of self, and finding the mentor within you. And so there's this, we have in our physical realm and also our energetic, like we are bodies in this energetic space. So we can tap into something greater than us that can help lead and support us along our journey. And so it's a space, it's like your second heart. And the heart is the drum beat. It's the leader of the pack. It's the emperor of the body. And if you think about it, when it beats, like, sets the pace, the tone, and then your ribs are like the acoustic chamber that it resonates from. And then the ribs, from there, it goes through the arm and the legs that are like big tuning forks. And so, whatever, beats, makes your heart beat, like whatever is desired to you, that's something that's really powerful and that you can use to your advantage. So yeah, I want like a nice, sunny, spacious space. And this is part of what I'm creating for myself. You asked me what I wanted, in the beginning. It's like water, sunshine, grounding. And the next thing I was going to say is like space. And I plan to create that for myself. This is my next project, because
Nice.
I've just moved and I'm almost kind of like, I gotta, this pattern has to shift. So I set a date, I set this plan up, and things have actually just been like lining up to support this
Well, that's what
vision of
happened.
mine. Yeah. So it's like the steps are really easy, but we can get clouded by everything. So, yeah, any listeners today, it's just a message that you're on the right track and keep going. And if you want to reach out to me or the Pipe Man or any of our amazing language of healing, emotional wisdom training specialists, you can reach out. Find us on Instagram and Facebook at the Language of Healing. And what else? And then, oh yeah, you can find us every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on W4WN. There's a lot of other great shows happening here too. Women for Women Network, supporting each other. Just a little side
Even the Pipe
tangent.
Man supports the women.
Yeah, I mean, I know you do support. You
Which, by
support a lot of
the way, I
people.
have a task for you, Rebel, in support of that.
Oh Lord, another. Go ahead. What happened?
So I want you to go in all the archives and first let me ask you, Nicole, have you gone to the podcast of emotional wisdom training yet?
Not recently, but yes, and yes.
All right. So here's what I think you should do, Rebel. It doesn't have to be today, because all the people listening need this too. Okay. So, of course, she talks about emotional wisdom training. We're going to give some, kudos to Kate Michaels, because she was an amazing human being and she had some amazing teachings and she had an amazing show on this station. So I want you to go back through the years of the archives, Rebel, and copy Dropbox links to each one, to every year of shows, and send them to Nicole, so that we can keep empowering the world by Kate Michaels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for saying that. That's also one of my big dreams.
See that? I made a dream come true right here in the show.
Yeah, it's true. Dream maker, dream weaver, I love it. But that's like, yeah, Kate Michaels is a huge inspiration. I can't give her enough kudos and honor. It was an honor to have her in my life. Absolutely. And but that's how it works, and I feel like really it's sad that she's passed, but she's in this bigger energy field, and I'm excited to bring the work forward,
There you
because
go.
it's changed my life. And
she's with you at all times. See that?
yeah with us. I believe that the spirit realm, or where, when people pass, you can access them in a different way. But it's also by tuning into our inner core, because we're connected. We are all source. I know I don't want that to sound like floofy woo woo, but it's true. It's like,
can you say that again for me? What was that? Bloofy woo woo?
Yeah, that's what came out in the moment. Yes.
Bloofy. Hey, Rebel, do you know what bloofy woo woo means?
No, floofy.
Oh, floofy. Floofy. Okay, that one I get. Go ahead.
Floofy woo.
Go on with your floofy woo woo self.
We are one, it's source. Like, there is one source, like original cell. That's how every cell has memory of every other cell, because initially we were all one cell. So, I mean, our bodies, we don't have like that regenerative. Well, this is also an interesting topic. It's kind of another tangent, but like the holographic, how amphibians can regenerate their limbs and stuff like that. Like, maybe we can't do that exactly, but we do have memory of everything. So I think even if we do miss a limb, or if we're missing part of us, it's still a part of us. Like, you don't get your gallbladder removed and like suddenly you don't have any of the energy of your gallbladder. Like, from a Chinese medicine acupuncture perspective, that channel is still very alive and that influence is still very there. So it's like mentors. But I mean, speaking of our dreams, going back to that, it's like you can tap into that. Look at those qualities. Write your list of 10 things you want, like Dean was saying, as homework. And then also explore 3 mentors or 3 people that you admire and what qualities about them that inspire you. And then circle the ones that have a theme and, work on that for yourself for June, because now we're getting into the summer. It's going to be like full expansion. Like, let's go. The
Except
seeds are
in Canada.
planted.
Except in Canada, where it'll
Oh,
probably
we'll
still
get,
be snowing.
well, I mean, it's possible. Like, we live, in the high altitude in the mountains, but it will be a nice summer. It always is a nice summer in Canada for sure.
I think Rebel should move up to Calgary.
Yeah. Welcome, Rebel.
She would fit in perfectly there.
How so? Well, I mean, because it's awesome and Rebel's awesome.
He said
Maybe-
that the same thing about California, and I've never stepped foot in California, never intend on stepping foot in California. So I have a better chance of going to Calgary than I do to go to California.
There you
Yeah,
go.
well, that's probably possible. Can you handle the cold weather, Rebel?
Oh, yes, I can handle the cold weather.
Okay, good.
It
So-
builds resilience. This is like, things. It's like the lotus flower that grows within the dark, muddy murkiness of life. So, and that's another thing with dreams. Can I just say one more thing? Because in Canada, I don't know, it's not the US. The US is a whole other beast, all right? Because maybe it's cultural. That here it's like don't outshine, don't be too big, don't be too tall. Like, it's like, so we, tend to play small, play our dreams small. I think that's relatable in, like, many cultures. But the US has this like big, bold, expansive energy. Anyway, I was just kind of like observing that recently too. Recently being in there, and I haven't. US isn't a place I've traveled much. I've traveled many, many places, Asia, parts of Europe, but the US is still on the list. So,
Still a
but I mean, just
mystery.
think,
It's still a mystery.
I don't know. They produce people like you
Yeah, and Rebel.
and Rebel.
Don't come here. Don't come here.
Okay.
We're here. Don't come here.
No, okay.
Bad influences.
I
here.
won't. I don't plan on it. I mean, maybe we're Rebel, Louisiana. Check out.
Oh, you would not fit in there at all.
Come get the food. Come get the
Yeah,
food.
I would love food. Yeah. If I could just like a little foodie fest, yes.
They opened a restaurant near me, Rebel, called Voodoo Bayou.
I like that. That's where like the jambalaya is from, right?
Yes.
Yes. And the barbecue. Oh,
You don't
And
want
the
to know what the
gumbo
barbecue's made.
and the
You don't
crab.
want to know
the
what the
gumbo.
you don't know want to know what the barbecue's made of, though. Like they have movies about that.
Oh, like Sweeney Todd style.
No, see, Sweeney Todd was in New York, not here.
Oh, okay.
No, how about that hotel that people went to, or not hotel restaurant or something, and it had like the best barbecue anywhere, and people came from miles around, and basically it was out in the middle of nowhere, and basically it turned out the meat was human meat. That's where Rebel lives.
No, I do not.
Yeah.
Are you
We got all
sure?
kinds of, I'm 100% positive. We got alligator, we got deer, we got duck, we got all kinds of stuff, but human is not on the menu. Thank you.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I'm fairly certain.
Okay. Because I could have sworn you were in the movie. Just saying. Anyway, my goal in life is to stay away from there.
okay.
And Nicole's goal is to get there. So it's perfect.
It's perfect. Like 2 ships passing in the night.
Oh, we're not even passing. You're like over there and I'm over here.
Yeah. Okay. So, Dean, Hype Man, what do you want?
Oh, I want a lot.
That's a loaded question. That's scary to
I was
ask
more
on this network.
specific. I was
Okay.
more specific with you. See, that's the
Yeah.
point too, is you have to be specific in your goals and dreams or you're not going to get them. You have to be
Mhm.
specific in not only what you want, but even the details of what you want. And you have to spell it all out. So like asking somebody what they want, that's such an open question, that it doesn't cause them to think the same. Like,
Right.
but notice I asked you, what are your
Right.
top 3? And that top 3 could change. But the key is why I asked that question is if you ask somebody that question, they better be able to answer that in like less than 10 seconds. If they don't, that's where they need to do the work. Because what it means is they don't really have goals and dreams that are, that they're focused on or they're working on. Because how can you find something you don't even know what it is? If it's so ambiguous, you can't achieve something that's so ambiguous that you don't know what it looks like, what it is, or how it is. So in answer to your question, why don't you rephrase the question for me?
Yeah, no, that's a very valid point. Yes, because we were a little bit, well, I mean, because I'm still curious about what your, I asked you last time, we could the dream vacation. What would be,
What would my
is
dream
that,
vacation
yeah,
be?
what's a dream vacation? What,
Mars.
Mars?
Mars.
What about that?
I could just go on a spaceship and go to Mars.
You look like you're on Mars already with the background for your
Well,
virtual background.
see that? See, I think that's Egypt or something.
No, no.
I know,
I
I'm
don't
just
think.
kidding. Of course it's not Egypt. But it kind of looks like it. That sand looks kind of like pyramids in a way.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the goal, what's my dream vacation? I think the dream vacation for me, and I say Mars jokingly, but yeah, that would be kind of cool. Dream vacation for me would be probably to go somewhere where, people are ultra nice to each other. There is no attitude, there is no bull crap. You don't have to worry about anybody. You don't have to not trust anybody. Has beautiful landscape. You can sit and, watch the sunset every day. Like it's funny. Like I got back from Costa Rica and I have the sunset right on my balcony. And there's days I miss it, but when I was in Costa Rica, I would almost never miss a sunset. And I think that's something we all got to learn, because you think you don't have time for these things. I would want to be a place where basically it includes all the things that I like, which is very rare. That's why I travel a lot, because there's some places that have things I like and some other places have other things I like. So a dream vacation would be somewhere that would be 100% Pipe Man. Now, if you were asking me what my top 3 goals are, okay, of course, number 1 would be, basically, it would be a total elimination of stress in every way, shape, and form to just enjoy life and never stress about anything. That's number 1. Number 2, and the reason it's number 2 is because you need number 1 before you can get number 2. So number 2 would be, being surrounded with people that not only are unconditional love, but a symbiotic relationship. Because a lot of times we have people in our life that we love or love us, and really we give them what they need, but they don't give us what we need or want, so it's got to be symbiotic. And number 3 would be $1 billion, because $1 million would be gone in 2 seconds.
So easy.
And see, there it is.
Good. Rich. I love it. It's very enriching. See, I knew to ask you because you'd have a very enriched, answer. And I think that you're a good example of what that specificity of what we need to really achieve what we want. Yeah. Because for those of you that don't know, I mean, you've accomplished a lot. You own this whole radio network, and you support a lot of people's visions in getting what they want.
Even Rebels.
Yeah. Well, Rebel's been with you for a long time.
Yeah, it's
amazing, isn't it?
It's been too long. It's kind of annoying, to be honest. No, yeah. She's been here forever. She's like gum on your shoe.
That's sweet.
He's not being sweet. He's not
Yeah.
being sweet at all. Gum on
Yeah,
your
because
shoe.
you bring the gum with you everywhere.
That's a good story. I don't know.
Yeah. Gum's tasty.
Yeah.
Gum on
it's-
your shoe has already been chewed and spit out onto the
Yeah,
side.
it's a little hard and crusty. I know it could be nicer, but I think that's how Paiman compliments people. So I think that you got to
No,
reverse psychology
Rebel-
that.
Rebel is one of the greatest people in the world when she sleeps.
Okay.
No, she is. She's really an incredible human being, in spite of some of the things that she's surrounded with that are inhumane living in Louisiana.
And on that note, y'all need to wrap it up.
Yeah, for sure. Or you have to wrap it up now. So
Wrap it
thanks
up.
for tuning us.
Wrap it up, Nicole.
Tuning. Why do I say that? Thanks for tuning us. Well, maybe this is our a weekly attunement. You know, it's like tuning in, tuning us. See you next week. Thank you for your support, Rebel and Dean, and all the listeners here in Let's Achieve Our Dreams. Let the miracles.
And
come.
I want to know though, when are they going to see us next week? What day? What time? Where do they go to see us next week? And how do they find you outside of here? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll tell you then. Next Tuesday, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, you can tune in live with us on w4wn.com. And that will be at 2 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. For the replays, you can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, the YouTube at The Language of Healing. And you can find me at Nicole Fortin Healing or at The Language of Healing.
Nice.
On all those channels. Yeah.
Everybody
that-
needs to connect with you because you're an amazing human being that can help them.
Yeah. Let's make those miracles happen for sure. Here with you. So
All right, now you
let's have
can
some
end the
fun.
show.
Okay. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Wow, what a show today. And the journey does not stop here. Come travel the world with Nicole every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time as together we become more fluent in the language of healing on W4WN Radio and Talk4 TV. See you next week.